Hi, today we're going to be talking about Zelensky and Putin, and we're going to look at what's happening in this current time, specifically between now up to about April. And a few points I want to make. I want to talk about right now and then sort of what's coming up, and also going to talk about what's happened in the past. I'm going to do that first. With Zelensky, what's been happening is that he has had so many obstacles in his path. He has had so much opposition from so many countries about doing things the way he needed to do them to succeed. And he's been hampered pretty much in any path he wants to go forward. What's happening, though, is all that is actually being lifted. Because of Trump coming in, he's sort of waited to see, okay, what's going on with Trump coming in? Do we have peace? Whatever. Uh, but it's actually lifting a lot of what people were saying, no, we won't go to that extent, because Trump is sort of going in a direction that may cause issues in the European Union. Now, what's currently happening right now is that Zelensky knows that he is being lied to. He knows he's being lied to by the Trump administration. They are not pursuing anything that is in his favor. They just want to end the war. Trump wants to have this little check mark. Oh, I ended the Ukraine war. Actually, I should say the Russian war against Ukraine, because that's what it is. That doesn't matter to Trump. He just wants to end it, and he's going to Putin first to see what Ukraine has to give up to end it. Zelensky knows that. So he's smart enough that he knows whatever's going to come to his, to his hands to look over, he knows it's not going to be good for Ukraine. Now, let's take a look at Putin for a second. Putin went into Ukraine thinking that this is going to be a quick win. A few weeks, they'll take over the country, they'll get rid of Zelensky, they'll put in a puppet person, and he's got Ukraine. He's got all the resources, all the farmland, and the people will bow down to him. That didn't happen. Ukrainian people somehow managed to get the courage to sort of rise up and say, no, this is not going to happen. Their military, which is not, it's not the best military in the world, but it is fighting a good fight. And with that, and it's been going a few years here, Putin now realizes that he made a very bad error. He's lost a lot of people, he's lost a lot of resources, and now he's saying, okay, I have to fix this. I have to get out of it. What can I do? First thing is, okay, maybe I can convince Trump that if we do this, we can end the war. And of course, this is what he wants. It's not good for Ukraine. Now, what Trump thinks, again, it's just a check mark to him. I ended the war. Now, unfortunately, with Putin, is he's not going to get everything he wants. But what will happen in the interim is he might get a few things that are short-term gains. So, for example, I just heard today that maybe what's going to be on the table is that the sanctions are going to be taken off of Russia so that businesses can go into Russia. Well, in that case, if that happens, I don't think any business is going to want to go into Russia if the war is not settled. And I don't think Trump is going to be able to settle this. Reason I say that is that Zelensky has been able to, and this is what's happening now, to start getting the European community involved in making and sort of identifying what they can do to keep Ukraine safe. Because they know if Ukraine falls, they may be next. So they're not fools in this. And the fact that Trump is keeping them away from the table along with Ukraine and dealing with Putin directly says something else is up here. So this is he's saying it's, superpowers. Well, no, you get someone else in on, it's Ukraine involved. They should be at the table. Now, that's pretty much where it is right now. And just as a quick thing, let's just show you this one little graph. So what we see right here is, this is about the time that I'm speaking of, from February to about April here. And we can see that for Zelensky's information, it's going downhill. Below this zero line, it's negative, above is positive. But he knows this. He is smart enough to know that people are lying to him, They're not going to get the best deal for him. Just like that mineral rights deal. He knew. Okay. So he's not a fool. He knows. If you come down here, we can see that, yes, it's a downhill little thing for Zelenskyy, but it comes up a little bit and then sort of even off. Let's take a look at Putin. Putin here, you'd think would be in a lot better shape. Yeah, he's got positive, he's got negative, but it's not enough positive that I would think he's a winner. If I come down here, yeah, we do have a little up peak coming up here right around the May timeframe. So that could be when a deal is actually inked out, sort of maybe, between April to May. But after that, it sort of like wanders down too. So it doesn't look like Russia or Putin is really going to do great with this. So, as I said, short term versus long term. Now, going out a little bit further, and this is something I've seen a few years ago when this war first started, I was saying that Zylenskyy actually has the ability to command the situation. I wasn't sure, though, how it would come about. Back then, I was saying, well, no, the United States is the one supplying ammunition, European Union is sort of sitting, and I'm like, how is it going to come together that he could control this? It's starting to sort of come about that maybe the path forward is that he's going to rally up the European community, and that is going to help Ukraine fend off Russia. And in this case, if the European community does this, they're not going to pay attention to anything that Trump puts out there. So if Trump makes a deal, it's a deal that he's making with Russia, but Ukraine and the European community wouldn't need to agree to it. So we now have another path forward, which I didn't see before. And that's the European community coming up and now taking a place in the world, possibly. We'll have to see where it goes. And that could actually push Putin back because he will probably not want to go into Ukraine if there are peacekeepers or troops from the European community. But then again, we don't really know. Okay. Now, this is sort of moving off down the end of this year into next year. But it is something really important to watch. And as I said, before I didn't see how we could have a path to get from what I was seeing to the actual, put that in the pathway. Now I'm seeing a path. Now what we'll do is come back probably around the end of May, and we'll look at where this stuff is. Otherwise, have a great evening. Bye now.